Oh my god, Velkhana, I'm such a huge fan!
Would you say that I'm cool?
I would?
Hello, my fellow hunters, and welcome then to Title Update 4! And, well, you might ask immediately, so, how's Velkhana? I ran up to Velkhana, and then I got caught out by how delayed the roar was, and then I was like, that's okay, I'll counter the follow-up attack. Oh, it's a multi-hit, alright, wait, why is she attacking over on the left? Is she targeting a palico? No, it's a sweeper beam, and I'm dead. So, it's going really well so far. But, you know, apart from the general pain and frosty devastation, this title update is by far and away the most impactful one we have had by a country mile. Velkhana Armor and Weapons are, and again, you guys know I don't say this often, but nutty cuckoo bananas! But before we get to that, her fight itself is brutal. In the best of ways, it is a satisfying challenge and brilliant execution. She herself looks gorgeous, the ice looks gorgeous, and her new super attack is, well, gorgeous! I really like what they have done with her. She feels very quick, very stabby, and is a ferocious contender. She has moves from her arch-tempered version, she has her base moves, she has new ones, she mixes them up in different ways, there's different attack patterns, and really as someone who has obviously fought a lot of Velkhana because of, you know, Iceborne, which I'm sure many of you have as well, it's almost harder than if you've never fought this monster because your head is full of preconceptions of what she's going to do when, and while that will help you some of the time, it'll get you hit the rest of it. It really is exemplary well done, and I for one am absolutely loving it. I don't think I've ever experienced Ice Blight actually being an issue in the entirety of this game until now, where I was finding myself really needing more wire bugs than I had just to keep on top of this Elder Dragon. So that is very satisfying, and I cannot wait to learn her timings properly and really master this new hunt. So all in all, I'm pleased. It's not a special Velkhana, but at the same time, it's a Velkhana unlike any that we have seen, and it really does feel like her own, you know, proper Sunbreak Velkhana, and that in itself really does scratch an itch. But look, guys, without further ado on the fun, ferocious fight, the armor.
The prophecy is true.
Actually, scratch the armor! The weapon! So, welcome, ladies and gentlemen, and especially greatsworders, to your new best weapon. This is 340 base true raw with natural 20 hits of purple sharpness or thereabout, a 3-slot rampage and a 4-slot on the weapon to boot, on top of some bonus ice damage, which, yeah, while obviously not incredible for greatsword, certainly is better than a kick in the teeth. And on top of that, this weapon, along with Velkhana weapons in general, has a special interaction with Frostcraft. Yes, it's back, in that it will fill the Frostcraft bar up faster for just having a Velkhana weapon on. So given that Velkhana weapons are so good, oh yes! Bear in mind, guys, that the current best greatsword is Scorned Magnum Aloe with worse slottage, 10 less true raw, and equivalent purple for us to be playing with. So it is just an upgrade in that sense. Granted, Blast is better than Ice, especially as it enables build-up boost, and Blast damage in general is better than a bit of Element. That said, getting 10 more raw better slots and still no need for Handicraft is very juicy, especially when you consider that Velkhana weapons especially work well with Velkhana armor, and Velkhana armor is very good. How good? Well, let's talk about it then. One new skill, ergo old new skill, returning skill in Frostcraft. The rest of the set, as you might imagine, is very much built with that in mind, at least most of it is. We've got a bit of Grinder S, a bit of Protective Polish, ammo up, that's all fine. There is Elemental Exploit and Critical Element element and on top of ice attack, yeah, this set is amazing for anyone who cares about element and element with affinity, especially so for any given ice setup. And then the quick sheath, critical draw, and focus is obviously aimed at, well, the chargy drawy types, like for example to try and encourage a crit draw greatsword style, but that's not really what's going to end up happening here, and that's because Frostcraft very much works like it did in Iceborne, but it's even stronger. Anyway, the actual description of Frostcraft this time around is incredibly useful. An aura of frost builds up when your weapon is sheathed racing attack. This decreases with each melee hit or shot fired. So, you know, if you didn't already know how Frostcraft works, this really isn't going to tell you a whole lot other than, I guess, good to be sheathed between hits? And yes, good to be sheathed between hits. Firstly, the individual pieces, then. The helmet is probably the weakest with the grinder, the protective polish, and the ammo up, though full grinder and ammo up is definitely something to potentially play with, and the slots are just fine in a 3 and a 1. The chest is where it starts to get interesting, with 1 Frostcraft, the full quick sheath, and ourselves a 4, 2, and 1, which is very good slottage. The gloves are our next Frostcraft piece, with all the critical draw, and the 3, 2, 1. Probably on balance the weakest Frostcraft piece, and then finally the waist, full focus, which is awesome for anyone who likes focus, and the final Frostcraft with a 3, 3, 2. And then finally we have the boots, which is full ice attack, full critical element, and an element exploit along with a 4 and a 1. These are elemental build champion leggings that you are going to very much want to be looking into, and any ice element build that cares about affinity is going to be using these legs. They are just such insane value, so that is very exciting. Ladies and gentlemen, Title Update 4 is very much giving us a power-up that we have not felt in the previous 3. This should be appreciable. Now, of course, the chest, gloves, and waist aren't actually great pieces compared to, well, even just the Risen Teostra packed stats that we got. But, of course, Frostcraft is that wild card. If Frostcraft is good enough, it doesn't really matter what else is going on, because it's going to be worth using. And while we will very soon bring you a video breaking down Frostcraft by the numbers, specifically how it works, just how good is it, a quick test, right? Every rank adds an extra stage of Frostcraft, so yeah, it does feel like perhaps it's going to be an all-or-nothing skill. You could potentially get away with just 1 rank of it for a weapon that can kind of benefit from a few attacks after drawing and then they'll sheath again, so maybe perhaps a great sword, but inherently, as a quick example, with no Frostcraft benefit, True Charge with just the Velkhana pieces on to make it a standard test hits for 2,000 damage. Then with level 3 Frostcraft, i.e. 3 bars full, so not the bonus 4th, which is even more, it's 2.6. So like a 25% increase. That is absolutely brutal in the best of ways. And because if you draw into charge, counter an attack, you will only hit twice, the 1-2 of the True Charge, you can actually counter with Strong Arm and connect in maximum powered up Frostcraft for, if it's anything like Iceborne, plus 30% damage, which is obviously very healthy for 3 pieces of armor invested. This is going to be potentially very exciting, and one thing is for certain, Velkhana is not here to not have an impact on the meta, and that is really very much what I was hoping for. So that's all there is for now. An awesome fight, challenging, good to see Velkhana again. She really is a fantastic Elder Dragon, both in the hunt and conceptually. Her weapons are looking great, her armor is filled with potential, and oh, there is so much sweet set building and testing to be done, and I will be with you with all of it as soon as possible. For now then, like if you enjoyed this, subscribe and hit the bell for more, consider supporting the future of the channel on Patreon down below, and until we meet again, a goodbye.
Josh, Cotton, and Hollow with the videos, dropping the humor like a hammer on your tippy toes, bringing entertainment on a daily arrangement to take our insanity and turn it into entertainment. Yes, I said entertainment twice, to reiterate that it is nice to look into your faces on a mostly daily basis when you let us in your homes to make the whole world a stage. Goodbye.